We are live! It is Empire State of Baseball on this Monday, April the 17th, 2023. Airing exclusively on Twitch and powered by StreamYard. And special edition of the show because there's only three of us in, but Khoury is going to be joining us later on tonight from the West Coast. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It is episode number 42, however, of Empire State of Baseball here on the East Coast. And kind of coincidental that we end on episode number 42 and coincides with Jackie Robinson Day. So that's kind of crazy. God works in mysterious ways. Isn't that right, Tom?
Very accidental. It's completely accidental.
Completely accidental. Yes, I mean we didn't prepare this out a year in advance. So episode 42 lands around Jackie Robinson. I think there's still teams recognizing Jackie Robinson Day today, wearing the number 42. So cool to see that tradition still continue. And Tom, I mean, just touching on Jackie Robinson. I know we kind of spoke on him last month when we were covering 42 in the March Madness tournament that we did last month. Let's speak on his impact and what he means to the game. And it's cool that we're still keeping these traditions alive with Jackie Robinson on April the 15th.
Yeah, I mean, Jackie Robinson, you probably could very easily argue is the most influential athlete in American sports history. Like, I think you could make a really good, sound argument for that, of his importance to this very day still. So the fact that they've kind of continued to evolve how Jackie Robinson Day is celebrated and treated is amazing. I think it's good for just the game and for younger fans, right? Younger fans may not know who Jackie Robinson was. And I think doing it this weekend, especially beginning of the year where there's a lot of excitement, so a lot of teams are still in it. Younger fans maybe get to learn a little bit about who this man was and what he went through. And I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he's what can you say? I mean, Tom hit it on the head. Probably one of the most important sports athletes in American history, and one of the most significant Americans in history. I mean, there are some people that credit Jackie for basically starting the civil rights movement that soon followed that, and that he was kind of the linchpin that got that started and said, if African Americans can play side by side in baseball with you, why can't everybody go to the same schools and use the same restrooms and things like that? So, his importance is not just not just only about the sport of baseball. His importance is about the country as a whole and how we as Americans really became one. And he is part of the reason that occurred. I mean, he's fulfillment of, the 13th Amendment in the Civil War. I mean, that's the fulfillment of that dream, of that promise from Lincoln and passed through from him all the way to Martin Luther King to now. So, I mean, that's a huge part of our history and part of the sports history. And it's great to see the baseball celebrates it in this way.
Yeah, absolutely. And also the global outreach from the impact of Jackie Robinson. We talked about African Americans and their struggle coming into the sport, but how about internationally too, with some of the Hispanic players and overseas with Japanese and Chinese players making their way to Major League Baseball? And I just don't think that door opens up if it wasn't for Jackie Robinson as well. So there's more of a global impact with Jackie than there is just even domestically. So it's awesome that MLB still tributes Jackie and his impact, and even to more contemporary. MLB The Show this year introduced the Negro Leagues as a part of the game. So very, very nice touch there by the show to kind of get a lot of young fans into knowing the history of the Negro Leagues and how a lot of these players struggled to get as far as MLB. And some of those players that you saw over time played back then didn't even make it to the Major League. So it is awesome.
I think I think Kay was saying on the broadcast that every player in the show on Saturday also wore 42. They had redone, they kind of remapped everyone's jersey. So that's really cool. Again, getting to kids to explain, who this man was and what he meant. And I think that's just really important that we acknowledge that, we honor that.
Absolutely. Sorry, guys. I really do like the theme song of the show, so I just kept it playing for the first 5 minutes in. So hopefully you guys didn't get much of that audio as we were coming over, but I think we should be good now. But we do have a packed show for tonight, even though we're just missing one of our own for now. He'll be joining us in a little bit. That is Khoury Favaloro. But tonight's lineup, we're going to start things off with Chooch's Pick of the Week, which is normally a show closer or a show or more mid-show, but we're going to kick things off with Chooch's Pick. So we'll hear from Matt in a little bit. Then we got the Empire Out of State presented by Khoury Favaloro. He's going to be live from the West Coast, previewing the upcoming series with the Mets and Dodgers, which begins tonight. And I believe he's going to be going to tonight's game as well. So we'll talk to Khoury before that contest for tonight. And obviously that's going to get us into the Queen's Gambit and talk about the latest of the New York Mets, the Brett Beatty call-up, which is big news, and happy Met fans all around, as Brett Beatty has been a player of question, considering that this guy should probably have been on the opening day roster to begin with. So it's good to see Beatty get the call. Then we're going to get into the Bronx is burning. So from Mets to Yankees, as always, the Bronx is burning, including our Garrett Cole discussion. And Garrett Cole looking like the American League Cy Young Award winner at this moment. But will he hold that for the rest of the 2023 season? And is he underappreciated by Yankee fans? Well, we're going to discuss more later on tonight. And lastly, we bring out a new bit for the show called Core Curriculum, our new game segment hosted by Andrew Khoury, who's a member, a chooch of our chat, if you will. He's going to be hosting tonight's trivia segment, which the three of us will participate in. And of course, you at home will be participating in as well. So with that said, let's get into Chooch's Pick of the Week. And if you're following us on Instagram, you know the deal of how to get there. But more importantly, you're here with us on Twitch, so you're going to listen to Chooch's Pick shortly. Tom, we have a few viewers on Twitch already, but what's the best way for their friends to join us here on the live stream?
Yeah, so if you are watching us on a replay on YouTube, thanks for watching. But if you want to engage with us live and get involved in the chat and in the games and all that kind of fun stuff, you got to download the Twitch app and subscribe to Empire State of Baseball. The link for that and all of our other social stuff is in our link tree, which can be found on our Instagram and Twitter.
Yes, sir. So again, make sure to download that Twitch app, Empire State of Baseball, and all that great information that Tom just provided.
Yeah, and I just real quick, Rich, just wanted to take a moment here. Joe, I want to let you know that just because Khoury isn't here, that doesn't mean there's like 25% additional talking time for you. Because frankly, you already take up about 60% of the talk time. So I think Rich and I are probably going to like carve out the little bit that you allow Khoury. So it's about like an equal third share. You're not going to talk for 75% of the episode.
So it's 2/3 a Yankee show, which is what Tom is saying.
We'll see. We'll see how far up I get you on the Yankees segment.
All right. Well, with that said, let's turn it over to another Yankee fan. So really now it's 3-1 here. We're gonna go to Chooch's Pick of the Week, and Matt obviously started off rough, 0-1 for him last time out. So let's see if he has better luck this time around. Here is Chooch's Pick of the Week.
What's up, ESP Crew? Be back with Chooch's Pick of the Week. This week we're gonna go later in the week. We're gonna go Padres versus the Diamondbacks. Currently lead the division by 1 game, and I think the Padres take it this weekend. I'm calling 2 out of 3 for the Padres. What do you guys got?
All right, so Matt's got in a very low and monotone voice. Hopefully that came over. Has Diamondbacks Padres this week, and he has the Padres taking the series 2-1. Diamondbacks do have a lead over the Padres in the division. So what do you guys think of this matchup later on the week, though? West Coast matchup, Diamondbacks Padres. What do you guys got?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I like the Diamondbacks a lot. They are a good young team. Corbin Carroll looks like every bit of what has been advertised to us. They have a lot of versatility in that outfield. They have a deep outfield. They have a lot of players that can kind of slide in and out. Ketel Marte can play 2 or 3 positions. Kyle Lewis can play anywhere in the outfield. Carroll's looked amazing. He's had, I think, 2 games where he's stolen 3 bases in each game. They're looking like as advertised, and Gallen the last 2 starts has been phenomenal as well. my Cy Young pick for this year. So I like the Diamondbacks in this series. I think the Diamondbacks are going to hang around all year. I think they're better than what we thought, which was probably hovering a little below a 500 team. But I think they're going to be a little bit better than that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not ready to jump off the Padres bandwagon. I know a lot of us had them picked to get to the World Series. I know I had them there losing to the Astros, and Khoury had them winning the World Series over the Astros. So I'm not ready to jump off that. It's a 4-game set in Arizona, so I think a split is probably most likely. Arizona's been playing well so far, but yeah, I'm not ready to just to give up on the Padres 17 games into the season.
Yeah, I didn't know that was actually a 4-game set either. So Matt kind of threw me off there. But if it is a 4-game set, I am going to go with the split. Diamondbacks have looked good, obviously, early. It is a team that I think is going to make a big impact this year. Actually, I think that I have them making a playoff spot, in fact, by the end of 2023. D-backs, Padres for this one. I mean, they're both looking great to start the season off. And I think it's going to be a slugfest there in Arizona at Chase Field. So I'm going with the split as well.
I got 3-1 Diamondbacks. 3-1 Diamondbacks.
You got 3-1 Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Wow. 3-1 Diamondbacks.
I think Diamondbacks are going to win this series.
All right. There. I like that. All right. So we'll see
Both
what the Diamondbacks got to offer. We'll see what the Diamondbacks got to offer the San Diego Padres. But for now, we're going to keep it moving along. And before we get to the Empire out of state, I see Khoury Favs. I see some palm trees in the background. So we're gonna talk to him shortly. But Joe, best way to give us a follow here on all our social media platforms here. Obviously, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter. We got big things going on Twitter. Joe, what do you got for us?
You can follow us on Instagram at Empire State of Baseball. Or at ESB Podcast on Twitter. You can follow myself at JR Pugs, Khoury at G Gory, Rich J Rivera, and Tom at 2Spill on Twitter. Follow that for all of our live tweets of the games, content, polls, etc. Instagram, we post our Mets Minute and our River Avenue Recap, which are 2 series that have debuted this past week. You can also find those on our YouTube Shorts page as well. So keep it up to date for all the content there.
And Joe, what was the big news? What was the big news that came out of Twitter this past weekend?
What was the news that came out of Twitter this week?
Joe, come on. Are you kidding?
1,000. That's right. Listen, we've reached 1,000 followers on Twitter. You guys have been fantastic. I mean, we've been all over the place lately, but 1,000 followers is a great milestone for us. Keep it up. Keep up the engagement. We love engaging with both the Yankee and Met communities. It's been fantastic. And we just want to say from the bottom of our heart, from all 4 of us, thank you. And Khoury's going to get in here in a minute, fresh from Hollywood Boulevard. So we all want to say thank you to everybody on Twitter who's following us.
Yeah, big shout out and thank you here. And I know we're stalling Khoury a little bit. We're gonna get him in a little bit here. I know he's trying to get a little situated. But yeah, 1,000 followers on Twitter, quite the accomplishment. We're definitely shooting for the stars here, and we're having fun doing it, which is the most important thing. So this is awesome for us. Love seeing the support from our Twitter faithful, and we want to get that same support from YouTube and Instagram as well. So we're gonna hopefully just keep growing that and keep putting out some new content for you guys. But for our Twitter followers, we thank you so much for the love and support. Tom, any special?
Let's get Khoury in here before he gets run over by a local.
All right, screw it, Tom. We're going right to Khoury. All righty.
Khoury
Favs joins us now for the Empire out of state. And look at that background.
Look at those
Khoury,
palm trees.
Gentlemen, how's it going? Could you guys hear me all right?
Oh, perfect.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Better than your studio.
I'm down here. This is my new studio down here. I'm in La Jolla Beach right now, La Jolla, California, just northwest of San Diego. So I'm actually making the trip up to LA tomorrow to catch a little Mets Dodgers. Also taking a stop in Anaheim. We're actually going to do the stadium tour for the Angel Stadium. Not bad, $12 deal. You get a 70-minute tour out there. So looking forward to that too. And
It's
then
a little
ending
dumpy.
the weekend in San Francisco. Ironically, San Francisco is supposed to be the worst weather of California, and it's going to be the nicest weather because this whole weekend in San Diego, we were lied to. I've actually been wearing the same jeans and hoodie for the last 3 days, and the weather's. We had sun the first day. We had mist at Petco Park yesterday. It was a misty, cold day. Today the sun hasn't come out. It's trying to peek out now for the sunset, but it has been a cloudy weekend here in San Diego. Very unusual.
It's looking like San Francisco, honestly, with that kind of weather forecast back there.
Correct.
But San Diego, a state that, a city that I've been to in the past, love it there. La Jolla is heaven on earth, especially when it's not on a cloudy day. But Khoury, anything else around the area? Good eats, clubbing. What we got going on over in the San Diego, LA area?
Well, listen, I'll tell you, San Diego, I loved Petco Park. When this is all said and done and I finally visit all 30 stadiums, I do got a long way to go. I could see Petco Park potentially cracking that top 10. One cool feature with Petco Park that I really liked was just walking through the concourse, you just happen to stumble into their Hall of Fame, the team Hall of Fame there. Because a lot of teams, their team Hall of Fame is kind of tucked on the side. Citi Field, for example, unless you enter through the rotunda and don't go up the escalators, you go behind the escalators to the team Hall of Fame. A lot of stadiums, you end up missing it. This one, you walk right through, unintentionally going through the concourse. A little weird, though, because you walk through the Hall of Fame, and on one side, you have all of the plaques on the wall, and on the other wall, you have vendors. So a little strange from that standpoint, but a really cool stadium, good vibes there. The area around Petco Park reminds me a little bit of Chicago with the Wrigley feel. A lot of Padres bars, the Padres crowd. I mean, we left last night. We were hanging out in the area for a bit, went back there for dinner. And even at like 8, 9 o'clock, people in Padres jerseys were still lingering, leaving the bar. So definitely a cool setup over there. Looking forward to LA tomorrow. Unfortunately, we're going to the Tuesday night game because on Wednesday night, you have a prime matchup with Scherzer and Syndergaard. That would have been something. The other thing I want to mention, too, with tomorrow night, because it's going to be Beatty's second game. Beatty, we know, got the call up, is starting at third base, hitting 8 tonight. They better not bench him versus the lefty Kershaw. I don't care about lefty-righty. This guy's been red hot. You look at the lefty-righty splits in the minors. Granted, the numbers are better versus righties, but they're not bad against lefties. Actually, home runs-wise, he has 2 against lefties this year. He's hitting 300 in the minors versus lefties this year. So I don't want to hear anything about lefty-righty splits. I want Beatty playing tomorrow versus Kershaw. Enough of this teasing the prospects when they come up here. I want them playing.
Well, you should get both Beatty and Alvarez tomorrow, barring the lefty-righty split. Nito's starting tonight, which means you're going to get Alvarez tomorrow.
Yep.
But listen, hey, you got a good one to go to tomorrow. You get to see Have you ever seen Kershaw?
Kershaw in person, I probably have in the past when he was more in his prime. I know he's not the same pitcher he was going back 5-6 years ago, but definitely looking forward to the matchup, though. And we get Tyler McGill, and McGill has looked good, man. I'm really liking McGill. I honestly think if he keeps this up, he's going to be in the rotation. It's going to be Carrasco who's the odd man out. Now, Carrasco actually didn't do too bad over the weekend. 5 innings, 2 runs. Again, you're not really expecting much more out of Carrasco at this stage of his career, so I'll take it. But McGill right now has looked good. I'm really looking forward to that matchup tomorrow night.
Oh, absolutely. And more important question, you go to Dodger Stadium tomorrow, what's going to be the meal of choice? Is it going to be the nacho helmet or is it going to be the Dodger dog?
I'll tell you what, I'm not a big hot dog guy, but you might have to go with the Dodger.
You have to get a Dodger dog. If you're there, you gotta get it.
I feel like you have to go with the Dodger dog if you're in Dodger Stadium. Even though I'm not a big hot dog guy, you have to go with what the place is known for. So actually, at Petco Park yesterday, there was a lot of taco stands and whatnot. I had a short rib burrito, which was really good. That was banging.
Khoury, I'll remember that when you visit Coors Field and have to try the cow oysters.
Oh, get those. Definitely have to go to Coors Fields. Have to go up to Seattle, too. Isn't Seattle the one that has the chocolate-covered grasshoppers or something like that?
Yeah, crickets, I think, right?
The crickets. So definitely have to give that place a try. But get to knock off 4 stadiums off the list this week. A couple of them watching the Mets here. And looking forward to seeing. I'm going to actually do an official ballpark ranking. I'll do like my top 5 for about the 10 to 15 I would have seen after this weekend trip. So I'll definitely post that up once the trip's said and done. But looking forward to knocking off a few more off this list. Looking forward to watching the prospects too. Man, Beatty tonight. Alvarez tomorrow, hopefully Beatty. If Beatty is not playing tomorrow, I'm going to be very upset, and I'll be hitting Twitter for that, not being too happy there. But then the biggest thing, too, is you have a couple of other prospects in the minor leagues. Mauricio had an awesome spring training. Continuing that in the minors, I mean, he has not let up. Vientos, same exact thing. Vientos had one of the hardest hit rates in spring training across Major League Baseball. I forget where exactly he finished in that stat, but I think he was top 5 all of MLB in hard hit baseballs in spring training this year. He's still hitting it. Vientos could be, he could be your long-term DH option. Beatty, your long-term third baseman. Alvarez, your long-term catcher. The question right now with Mauricio, what are they going to do with him? You know you're blocked at shortstop for the next decade with Lindor. McNeil, I prefer at second base long-term. I do like him in the outfield, but I think second base is easier to play long-term. But Mauricio right now should be getting the majority of the left field reps in AAA, because I think if he does have a shot of staying with this team long-term, he's going to have to pick up an outfielder's glove. Otherwise, he's going to be trade bait. And what that trade is, I don't know. Time will tell. But Mauricio might have to be that left field option if he were to stay with the team long-term.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I got to ask you, Khoury, before we let you go enjoy some good margaritas and some sea lions over there in La Jolla. What do you pick here? You got Mets, Dodgers here for the next 3. Who's taking the series? I know this is not Chooch's pick of the week, but I want to hear Corey Fab's pick of this week.
Listen, Corey Fab's, if I'm going to rate the series as a whole, I know Joe said sweep the A's, take 1 from the Dodgers, take 2 from the Giants. Right now, I would be happy with it, especially if the 1 win from the Dodgers is when I go there tomorrow night. Honestly, I see the Mets taking at least 1, maybe 2. I'm going to be optimistic here. I think Beatty's going to have a nice series, stay hot. I'm going to go Mets 2, Dodgers 1 in this 3-game set.
And your luck, it will be the one game tomorrow that you go to that they lose and they win the next 2. So
yes,
hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully you get a Mets win tomorrow and some good food over at Dodger Stadium. Corey Fabs, any closing thoughts before you let you go?
Listen, any closing thoughts? There's actually a few Braves fans here now. I know the Braves are in town versus the Padres here, so hoping for a nice Padres sweep. I know Chooch picked the other matchup with the Padres this week, going with the Diamondback series. I think I had the Padres winning that series, but it should be a good one. I hope the Padres sweep the Braves. That's my closing thought. Let's go Padres, let's go Mets, and let's have a nice end to this West Coast road trip. And the other good thing is, I hate when they're on the West Coast because I'm tired of staying up till 1 o'clock in the morning watching the games. Don't have to worry about that this week.
Thank you, Corey. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the rest of Southern Cal.
Yep. Thanks again, guys. And I'll be checking in throughout the week for sure on Instagram and Twitter. So feel free to follow us live.
Awesome. Talk to you soon, bud. All righty. So Corey Favaloro, Tom, you've been to San Diego. What's your favorite eat in San Diego?
I haven't been to San Diego since I was 4. So not
so formula and all right.
Yeah, not formula. I was 4, Richard.
I'm
not even formula when you're 4.
Formula.
You get done with that when you're like
I'm figuring it out. I'm just a newly christened uncle over here. I'm trying to figure it out, guys.
So I think
Rich was
actually
breastfed until he was 6.
So I think first.
No, we're not starting that on this show. We're not starting that on this show, Joe. The hell.
I was gonna say, I think my first major league game was at Dodgers. I know I went to Dodger Stadium when I was 4, when I was out there. So not a lot of memories there. Went to Anaheim in college for a conference. That stadium's a dump. So
that stadium needs to be replaced.
There's that. You can walk to it from Disneyland, so that's kind of a useful, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what else we want from you on that.
Nothing else. I thought you frequented the Southern California area more often, and I was incorrect in that.
No.
But yeah, San Diego known for some good Tex-Mex food.
Would love to,
but love it. Anyway, let's get into the Queen's Gambit since we're still talking Mets here. And Corey did mention Brett Beatty. We did put up a poll earlier today of which Mets prospect are fans looking forward to the most. And most did vote for Beatty. I actually forgot to include Ronnie Mauricio in that poll, so shame on me. But Mauricio also mentioned here in our chat from Mr. Jonathan Hernandez, the Fantasy Hot Corner himself. They need to move Mauricio somewhere. At this point, he's too close to the majors to trade unless it's for a major piece at this deadline. Joe, overall, what do you think of the Mets handling of their top prospects? And do you think Beatty's going to stick around for the long term, or is he only up here for injury's sake?
No, this is a permanent move. This is an idea of him taking over the third base spot from here on out. Escobar has struggled. I think it's very clear now that Escobar is no longer a starting shortstop in Major League Baseball. I still think Escobar has a role on this team. I wouldn't DFA him, but I think he has a utility role on this team. And as somebody who comes off the bench 2 to 3 times a week, I think is going to serve Escobar and the Mets a bigger purpose here. So I think Beatty's up for good. I think Alvarez is the one, once Omar Narvaez gets healthy, that Alvarez will go back down. Remember, Alvarez is 2 years younger than, almost 3 years younger than Beatty. So in that particular case, I think he's up here due to injury. I think he's up here to split time with Nito and to get his feet wet. But I think Beatty, this move is permanent. They want him to be the third baseman of the future. And I see the kid succeeding. He had a little bit of cup of coffee last year until he hurt his hand and hit a home run in his first at bat. I think this was the right time to bring him up. He's scorching hot. So,
yeah, I mean, copy paste what we've been saying about Anthony Volpe and what we've been saying about Alvarez is, these are top guys. You shouldn't be bringing them up just for, just to see and just to play every so often. If Brett Beatty's up here, he should be playing every day or damn near every day. Go back to our boy, Jonathan Hernandez, to say that Ronnie Mauricio is going to have a major piece return for him. I think it's a little laughable at this point. He's not even a top 100 prospect in baseball anymore. So I don't know what major piece you think you're getting for him, but
he's hit, like, I think between spring and the minors this year, he has like 12 home runs already this year. So
yeah, I wasn't following along his minor league stats, but I remember him being a big story in spring training. He was mashing the ball.
Yeah, I think he had 6 in spring training. I think he's got 5 now.
But, I'm just saying I don't know if a major P for a guy who's, I know every prospect list is different, but I mean he's kind of fallen off. It looks like from the favors of, in a lot of people's eyes, of being able to return something like that.
The problem with Mauricio has been 2 things. Is one, on the Mets, from a Mets standpoint, he's blocked. 2, he doesn't walk enough, and they're worried about his pitch selection. That has not been a problem as in this year and in winter ball. He's prospect number 92 in Baseball America last year, and 50 as high as 51 in Baseball Prospectus last year. So, he's not on the list this year. His on-base percentage was kind of low in the minors last year. He hits for a ton of power. He has a comparison to Alfonso Soriano a lot of the time. I think it just comes down to the walk rate and where he's going to stick in terms of position. It might not be with the Mets, but the Mets have a problem. All their prospects are infield prospects that are in the high levels, and they don't need an infielder. They need a left. We need to plan for a left field option, and if he can't be that option, he might need to be moved for that kind of option.
I think it goes without saying.
The Mets have to be. I was saying, go on, Rich.
I think it goes without saying. I think there's also more value in a player you're willing to move around the diamond as well. I know Mauricio is projected to be a shortstop, but this is somebody who's also been possibly he's been looked at as a second baseman, a third baseman, a corner outfielder. So I think there's value in that as well. And number 6 prospect of the team, and yet he's not a top 100 prospect anymore, Tom. But number 6, I don't know if it ever was, but number 6 prospect on your team is still a solid projection for a young player in Mauricio, who's knocking on the door for a big league spot.
He's not a top.
I
If
definitely
he's
think
not
he's
top
going to be
100,
worth
he's just outside of it.
I guess my
I think
point
he's
is,
definitely going to be worth it.
Yeah, he's not going to be the cornerstone to bringing in a major, middle of the lineup or like a number 2 starting pitcher is just, I guess, my point. But we can move on from that.
So we will move on to that. So actually, one thing that John brought up that I did want to mention on the show was this question: can we talk about the fact that Alonso is disrespected across the entire league? Thanks, I'll hang up and listen. And I don't know about the entire league, but I'll just say by his own damn team. What is taking the Mets so long for giving this guy the damn bank? He is an absolute star.
I'm guessing they're just thinking he's going to make enough money winning home run derbies. Like they don't have to, pay him because even it's $1 million for winning the derby. They taste the derby like it's the World Series. So I guess at that point, pays for himself.
Yeah, I don't know what he wants, but listen, people, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the owner, Scherzer, Verlander, Lindor, those guys. Alonso always seems to kind of get the back burner. And Alonso is really the face of the Mets. I mean, when you think of your star hitter in the lineup, it's Pete Alonso. He's a better hitter than Lindor. I don't care what anybody says. Alonso put one off the face of the second deck in dead center field in Oakland. Statcast measured at 430. Didn't take a take for the account that the ball was 200 feet in the air when he measured 430. So I don't want to hear that about Statcast. That ball was hit a country mile.
Statcast is horrible. I've given him a Statcast years ago.
But listen,
Mike hit a 650-foot home run according to Statcast.
Alonso has the most home runs and RBIs in the league since he came in and since he made his debut. What more do you need? I understand he's not a 285, 300 hitter. I get that. He's not. You'd like his on-base percentage to be closer to 400. But listen, he is a 265, 350 absolute slugger. I mean, he is the definition of slugger. And he is the premier, aside from Judge, he is the premier power hitter in baseball. I mean, Judge is, but as far as the NL is concerned, he's the guy. I mean, and you know what? The last time Judge broke a record, Alonso turned around and broke it 2 years later. So, Alonso's chasing it. It's in the back of his mind. He wants to get there too. So, I just think that he's been disrespected. And MLB came out with their stupid hitter power rankings list the other day. Alonso led the league in home runs. He's not even in the top 10. What are we kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, those rankings are always pretty.
Brian Kenny a little too much here.
Joe. Those MLB
power hitter ranking, and you have
I think it was
second premier power hitter in all of baseball. Who's leading the league in home
Joe,
runs? Not even on it.
Jesus Christ, Joe! I think it was a power ranking of hitters, not a power hitter ranking. He should still be there, but it wasn't a it wasn't a power hitter rankings. It was a hitter.
I think he's going to be there next week at least.
He should be. And listen, he has been great for the Mets. Been great since he's been there. You wonder why he hasn't wanted to do that. I know Khoury, I think part of his off-season game plan was to get him signed to an extension, and it didn't happen. It could be something that maybe he doesn't want to sign an extension. Maybe he wants to go to free agency and see what's out there. Maybe he's someone who, wants to look at other places to play. You never know, or who he could just be kind of pulling what Judge kind of did. And listen, I want to get the free agency and I want to get the truly best offer, and I need to get the free agency to do that. So I'm sure the Mets would love to resign him and extend him. It seems like maybe it's not mutual at this time.
I don't see in this regime a way that B. Alonso's not signed long-term. I mean, he's so marketable. He does so well in New York. He's a guy
that he could not want to be here. That's possible. There was a lot of listen, none of us know Pete Alonso, personally at all. So none of us know, but it also is possible that playing in New York is something that a guy's like, listen, I'm kind of over this. So maybe I want to go somewhere a little more low key. You never know. The same. You would think that a team that has all the financial power that the Mets have right now, that if they wanted to re-sign him, and I'm sure they do, it would be done. If it's not, it could be him wanting to at least get the free agency and take it from there.
I mean, he's got another year, so I'm not worried about that.
So
I don't want to be worried about it either, but.
So Tom is right. It was that ranking from MLB was a hitter power rankings, not power hitter rankings. Luis Arias is number 5 on the list. So
That's what I was going to say. I saw Luis Arias on there. I'm okay. Listen,
so I think it's just poor wording by MLB, and trust me, there are better graphics on Empire State of Baseball than there is Major League Baseball. Just saying.
And listen,
but
been crap before. I remember at times last year, like you would see them, and they'd be random guys who just had like a 2 home run game. Is like now the 3rd. Rated hitter in baseball. It's all clickbait BS. It's all just to get people to go into the comments and argue and to fire up the junior pugs of the world to say, where's Pete Alonso on this list? That's why they do all these things. So if you fall for the trap, just don't fall for it. Yep. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, those guys know what they're doing over there. Hitter power rankings, and Pete Alonso is not on the list. But if it's power hitter rankings, yes, Alonso's got to be a top 5 at the fucking minimum. Absolutely. All right, so we're gonna keep it moving. So from the Mets talk over to the Yankees side of town, and we will spot up our YouTube here. So make sure to give us a subscribe and a like and a share to our clips and episodes on YouTube. Make sure to follow us at Empire State of Baseball. Over there, we have all our episodes and now our shorts, which Joe has been very so kind to put those up on the page. So all those River Ave rewinds, all 2 of them, and the and the Mets Minute have all been up there as well. So we're going to make sure to keep putting up that good content. And of course, episode number 42 will be up there later on tonight after tonight's episode. So give us some love on our YouTube as well. And comment. Listen, we're not experts at this. So if we're wrong, call us out. We love it. We love the engagement. So make sure to comment on all our YouTube stuff. And we're here to have an argument with y'all and have a good time up on our YouTube page as well. So we're going to keep it moving. Let's talk Bronx is burning. So we've gotten into a lot of Mets stuff tonight. So let's get into the Yankee side of the house. Joe is handicapped by 2 Met fans tonight. So, the gloves are on.
That's okay.
So here we go. Bronx is burning. So I don't know where we want to start. We can start with the weekend recap. The Yankees splitting the series with the Minnesota Twins. Twins came in headhunt, man. That first game, man, 9-0 lead, knocking Johnny Brito out early. And the Twins looked good. And honestly, if that was their game, the Yankees should have taken that Friday series. If it wasn't for the Clay Holmes at the end, Holmes just not. He just has these ebbs and flows where he looks amazing and then he just doesn't have it. And Yankees drop that game and they come back and win the next 2. We'll talk about the last game specifically with Garrett Cole, because Garrett Cole has been definitely a subject to talk about in terms of Yankee baseball. ERA is down to 0.95 for the season. At this rate, I think it's undisputed that he is the Cy Young for the month of April. Will he be the Cy Young of the year for 2023 for the American League? Well, that's what our very own Khoury Favs had a few weeks ago on the show. He did have Garrett Cole as that guy. So I asked you, Thomas, before we get to Joe, feelings on Garrett Cole, and is Garrett Cole still underappreciated by Yankee fans?
I think he absolutely is. I've been pro Garrett Cole for almost this entire time as a Yankee. Yes, he's had some frustrating starts, but listen, he's been phenomenal this year. The one thing that bit him so terribly last year was a home run ball, and in 4 games he hasn't given up a home run. Is that going to continue? No, he's going to give up some home runs. But he's been, like you said, he's been the best pitcher in the American League so far this year. Who knows if that's going to continue? He's not going to go undefeated this year with a sub-1 ERA. There's going to be some tough spots along the way, but he's looked great. He's pitched against the Yankees. Haven't played a lot of cupcake teams so far. Again, you only can play who's on the schedule, but it's not like he's racking these games up against horrible lineups.
These Guardians, Twins, pretty damn good. I mean, if you want to say the Giants are the stinker, sure. But the Yankees haven't played terrible teams.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's pitched against good teams, but he's earned all the accolades he's been given so far this year. He was also phenomenal in the playoffs last year, which I'm sure a lot of Yankee fans want to that have agendas will forget, and they don't remember that he was great in the playoffs last year. So yeah, he's been great. He's underappreciated. There's a lot of people who probably won't really appreciate him until he could win them a World Series if that happens. And anything short of that, they're just going to say he's overpaid and all this. I don't know what else you want him to do at this point. But Joe, I'm sure you'll have just a nuanced take on this. So go ahead, Joe.
Well, listen, the question is, is he the best pitcher in baseball through the first 4 starts of this year? The answer is obviously yes. But is Garrett Cole the best pitcher in baseball overall? The answer is no. And the problem Cole has is he can pitch shutouts until his arm falls off in April. That's not what Garrett Cole is being paid to do. The reality of the situation with Cole is he is not worth what he is being paid, and he is not the guy that you signed to be your ace because he has not been that for the Yankees. He is a workhorse. He pitches all the innings that you've ever asked him to pitch, but at the end of the day, where Cole has fallen short and will continue to fall short for me is when it counts the most, when he has a chance to go up against a real team and put up a 0 and say to his team, like he did in the playoffs in 2019 against the Yankees, where he pitched 7 innings and threw a shutout and told the Yankees to pack their bags and get the hell out of town. Until he does that for the Yankees, he is never going to live up to that contract. The reality is that Cole, on several occasions, has come up not only small, he has absolutely ruined the Yankees' chance at winning a game. He did it in the wild card against Boston. Not only against Boston,
in that game,
he had 2 games before that in September
when he was still
where
hurt.
he gave up 7 earned runs in Cleveland and 5 earned runs in Toronto. And if he pitches a shutout in either of those games, the Yankees are playing that Boston game in their own park.
Still was hurt for that.
Okay.
So that's a problem. You are an ace. You are paid to be an ace when the lights are.
So Joe, are the only aces in baseball on teams that win the World Series?
No, but
is Alek Manoah an ace?
But the aces don't get.
Is Zach Gallen an ace or no?
The aces don't get shelled off the mound when it counts the most and tuck their tail between their legs after 2 innings.
Well, if by term, technically there are 30 aces in baseball.
What ace? When has Cole ever shoved against the Astros? When has he ever shoved?
Yeah, his last
complete game.
His last complete game. Yeah,
1 start.
Yeah,
he had 5 runs against the Astros last year in the playoffs.
And they asked you when's the last time he shoved against the Astros 2 years ago in Houston.
It was 3, and it was 3 earned. It was 3 earned, by the way.
Whatever.
And again, it didn't matter because if Cole would have thrown Cole gave it 1 run, the Yankees still lose that game. Yeah. They lost 5-0.
But when has he ever gone out when the Yankees' life is on the line and threw a 1 or a 0 up in
Guardians?
All
right.
You know what?
Last year, Joe, he pitched well against the Guardians.
No. You don't get the same credit. You're expected to beat the Guardians. You're expected to.
On the road with your back up against the wall? Maybe not.
Come on. That's not a great offensive team. Stop.
Your definition of an ace, they don't exist.
The ace to the Yankees, you're expected to beat the Guardians. But what happens when Astros, who own you, who he was part of the team that owned you, why can't he do what he did to you guys against the Astros?
1 game, 3 earned runs. Give me that from any of my pitchers against the Astros. So the one bad start, by the way, Yankees. Yeah, his one bad start was against the Red Sox in the wild card. I'm just gonna say it.
This bad start was last year in Houston.
But
the game was over in the 5th inning.
But still, all he's going to hit for that. The Yankees' offense is anemic for this guy for the most part. And yes, he's been a solid pitcher. He's very underappreciated. And I think this guy is
calling him a solid pitcher. I think is offensive. Number 3 pitchers on good teams are solid pitchers.
No,
Garrett Cole is a great pitcher.
He's not a great pitcher.
Yes, he is a great pitcher.
He's a very good pitcher. He's not a great pitcher.
He's the best pitcher in New York.
Great pitchers.
He's the best pitcher in New York. He's a better pitcher.
No, he's not the best pitcher.
2020.
Verlander's a better pitcher than him.
Not right now. He isn't.
All right,
right,
you want to
Joe.
take this second because Verlander has a pitch. If you had one person with your life on the line, you're going to take Verlander over him. And Verlander hasn't been good in the playoffs.
In the year 2023, no. I wouldn't. I would take Garrett Cole. I wouldn't take a 41-year-old Justin Verlander who is hurt again.
I agree.
Verlander's
I 1,000% agree with that. Yes.
Verlander
Absolutely.
beat you last year.
Absolutely.
The Yankees' offense last year was horrendous,
but-
and Verlander was great. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to.
I know the offense. We get the offense. But Garrett Cole never puts them in a position where the offense can be the main problem. At the end of the day, when Garrett Cole gives up 3 earned runs or 5 runs total in 5 innings, the game is over. The game's over. You already lost that game.
Yeah, I want to get to the question.
If
I want to
Garrett
get to the
Cole
question
puts
on
up
the screen.
7 innings and no runs.
I want to go to my good
and
friend
the
John
offense doesn't
Hernandez.
score a run,
I
and you
want to
lose
go to my
1-0,
good friend.
That's fine. But
I
he
want to go to
doesn't
my
do
good
that.
friend John Hernandez and ask you who is the best pitcher in baseball then?
The best pitcher in baseball?
Yeah.
If I had to choose one guy right now, probably I'd probably take Verlander in one game. Probably take Verlander.
I love John's comment that I just pulled up because he's absolutely right. No,
absolutely
not. I would not take Justin Verlander in that game. 1,000% would not take Verlander in that game. Wouldn't take Verlander, wouldn't take Kershaw. And Bumgarner, I like the Bumgarner mention, but yeah, Bumgarner is way past his prime. So I don't know, Joe, who really fits this mold for you. I don't know.
Well, the other problem is that Joe also hates Ohtani, and Ohtani is also up there. Ohtani is also an ace, but Joe doesn't want to hear about it.
Here's the thing about Ohtani. Ohtani's come in twice to Yankee Stadium and got bombed out of the stadium before the 3rd inning. So I don't want to hear about Ohtani. Ohtani's actually got a pitch in a game that matters. He's never pitched in a game that matters outside of closing out the WBC. So I don't want to hear Ohtani.
Joe,
I want to ask the viewers then, who would you trust one game on the line in 2023, not 2014, not 2017?
Joe,
who are you trusting right now to shut it down in the playoffs?
I got a question for Joe. I got a question for Joe then. How is Sandy Alcantara? Is he any good? He hasn't won a game that has mattered anything.
I understand that, but you know what? He's won a Cy Young.
Is Sandy Alcantara good?
Corbin Burns.
Sandy Alcantara is good. Corbin Burns is good.
He's okay, but they also have really.
They are not.
Burns has pitched in the playoffs. I don't have his numbers in front of me, but
here's the thing: being an ace on the Marlins or the Brewers is not the same as being an ace on the Yankees and being the highest paid pitcher in baseball history in terms of total value of a contract. There's a difference, and when you are that Yankee pitcher, when you play for the Yankees. Your expectation is to shove in the biggest moments, period. And
so what you're saying is the Yankees are, because they are a superior franchise to all other franchises in baseball, including the Mets. It does mean more to be an ace on the Yankees. Can I get your confirmation on that, Joe?
No, but that's the truth. Their expectation for Cole is higher. It's not good enough to pitch a shutout against the Twins on a rainy Saturday in April. Nobody cares. They care what you do in September.
It's a pitcher that fits Joe's full, real definition of an ace.
Do you want to know?
I just don't think it exists.
Here's a stat. September of 2021, Garrett Cole's ERA 5.13 in September. Last 5 starts in 2022, 5.22 ERA. Those are when it counts the most. Now, granted, the Yankees won most of those games last year, so it didn't matter. But in 2021, he wins one of those games he loses. The Yankees have a home game in the wild card. Maybe that game is different.
I think Garrett Cole's hamstring would have been equally as injured in New York as it was in Boston. Garrett Cole shouldn't have pitched that game. That's a conversation that Joe, you're not ready for.
If you're injured, don't pitch.
There's a couple players that should have played that game.
It is such an old man calling to the fan take. Listen, he was hurt. Should he pitch that game? No, he really shouldn't have. But he was the highest. He's the highest paid. Yeah, he did, and he didn't perform. But to say that the fact that he was hurt and is not even saying it as an excuse, but there's excuses and there's reasons. The Yankees just didn't. They didn't show up that year in general. That year was miserable, even though they won a lot of games. They weren't going anywhere anyway. So you can't. But Garrett Cole gets so basically anytime Garrett Cole does well, people like Joe just discount it. Like it doesn't matter. Who cares? It's April. It's this and that. And anytime Garrett Cole gives up 3 runs, Joe's ready to scream about how bad Garrett Cole is.
And you take it, but when it matters the most, he has never ever thrown up a 0 in a Yankee uniform. That's it. That's it. He didn't do it when he was chasing Robbie Ray for the Cy Young. He got knocked off the mound. He cost the Yankees a home game in the playoffs. He's never done it. All right, and
you know what, I'm happy that Garrett Cole. I'm happy that Garrett Cole is my ace of my team. I couldn't be happier with that. He's been great so far this year. Will he continue to be like this? Who knows? But it's been amazing so far. He's been a great Yankee. He's been very accountable as a Yankee.
Oh, come on. Oh, with the accountability. Oh, come on. He's a cheater. He's a baby. He's a whiner. Don't go there with the accountability.
Well, they enforced it, Joe.
I'm talking about him just as a pitcher. If you're talking about him as a man, he is a tiny little bitch. That's what he is.
God. Joe, you wouldn't call Garrett Cole a bitch if you were 25 feet away from him.
I don't care.
Like you said, you're tough. You're tough.
For me.
You're. Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
He is a crybaby. He's a crybaby. He's a cheater.
Joe, you continue to not only embarrass yourself on the show, but embarrass Met fans in general.
All right, it's taken him 2 years to figure out how to pitch without the sticky stuff.
That's true, because he did lead the league in strikeouts last year, so he really couldn't figure out how to pitch. It was just yeah. No, okay.
Without it, yeah, without all that, without the RPMs,
and giving up the most home runs in the league.
I love this transition. So Core Reiner of chat goes, Joe traded me Cole in fantasy last year. This argument tracks. And I think there's substance to that, because with that said, bringing us into the newest game segment of our show, known as Core Curriculum, is the host of Core Curriculum, Andrew Khoury. Welcome to the show, man. What's up?
What's going on, fellas?
Core, one game on the line. Who's starting that game for you?
Garrett Cole all day.
Wow. And Core's a Met fan. Love to hear.
He won the fantasy championship last year, so hard to go against him.
Absolutely. Love it. I'm completely with the Core. I appreciate the input. Joe completely handicapped all night, not just by the 2 Yankee fans that are on camera, but by the Met fans that were in the chat. So this was great.
If Khoury was here, he'd be on our side with this as well. So
you're not going to go far in the playoffs.
Joe,
if you're relying on him.
Listen, Joe, you're not Skip Bayless. You can stop pretending to be.
No, it's reality. Wow. It's the reality. When he beats the Astros, like he beat the Yankees for the Astros, somebody could come call me and take Garrett Cole. But the reality of the situation is he's cost you 2 do-or-die playoff games, and that's the fact.
Well, and then Core is reaping the award of having Garrett Cole on fantasy team so much that Garrett Cole single-handedly beat me this past week in fantasy. So good job, Core, on that. But Core's here because we have a new game segment, called Core Curriculum. So, Core, what are the rules of Core Curriculum?
All right, so I got 2 questions for you. We're going to run through the question. There's going to be 2 answers to the first question. If you don't have the answer, you're out. Don't get another choice. If you get one of them, you stay in. If you get both of them, you win the game. If there's a split, we'll go to a tiebreaker.
Sounds good. All right, so here's our first question. Core, what do we got?
All right, so thinking back to opening day a couple of weeks ago, Aaron Judge hit a home run in his first plate appearance of the season. Since 2000, there have only been 2 other players to homer in their very first plate appearance after leading the major leagues in home runs the previous year. Who are the other 2 players?
I'm assuming this is not just. This isn't just New York.
I know the question, but I don't know the answers here. I really am not sure.
This is not a New York specific question. No,
this is not a New York specific question.
Oh, there you go.
So, I'm gonna probably take the most obvious choice.
Remember, Joe, you got kicked off if you get it wrong.
I will risk it because I think it's the most obvious person to choose, I would go with Barry Bonds for one of them.
Wrong.
Oh!
I was gonna say they probably just walked Barry Bonds, so they probably
That's
that's probably gonna intentionally walk him the first. See you, Joe. Mute. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Joe.
Oh man.
This will
So
be a lot more calm now.
Oh,
so wait,
thank
so now,
God.
Khoury, I do have a question though. So if me and Tom can't get it right, then what happens here?
I don't know. These were kind of your rules that we agreed to, Rich.
All right, so let's see.
Well,
So
I guess we have to go to the
lead-
tiebreaker for everybody then.
lead the majors in Homer. So like,
Yeah,
let's see.
I have
this show
hints
got a lot
queued up
quiet.
too if you guys need some hints.
feels a little unfair with Joe with Joe out, but at the same time, I don't care about that.
I'm like sitting on one, and I'm like,
I'm sitting on a real weird one that I don't even know if he led the league in homers.
I don't have a weird one. I have a surefire Hall of Famer.
Yeah, mine's not.
I'm gonna go for it. Whatever. If I get knocked off my own show, so be it. Albert Pujols.
That's correct.
Let's go.
We did it in 2000, I believe.
Okay. So I don't even know if he led the league in homers. So that's like a big issue with this one. He hit a bunch of homers though. First name that came to mind, I don't know why, is Joey Bats. Jose Bautista.
Is that a
And
final
that's
answer?
Sure.
It's incorrect.
Yeah.
I
don't know. He just came to mind.
Let's go. Give me
Right,
the
no one
point.
wanted the hint. I can give you a hint for the next
the
one.
point.
You guys
We'll come
should
back.
all know who this person is. He's an active player.
My other guess is Pete Alonso, but
All right. Wait, okay, so let me think other players. And also, I'm looking in the chat as well. John also did guess Jose Bautista, so you weren't alone there, Tom.
yeah, I muted the chat.
Active
So
player. Who else?
here's a hint on the last guy. The year he hit the home run in his first plate appearance was the first year with a new team, and he's an active player.
Stan.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, because he did it in Toronto.
It is Giancarlo. Yes, it's Giancarlo. See, I wasn't
He
even
did in
thinking
Toronto.
New York after that first hint. I was like, all right, it's definitely not to New York. Stan makes sense. So that's
New
funny.
York
The
adjacent,
two
but he
guys that
didn't-
actually did it are still on the same team in Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. That's a great question there, Core. More importantly, because I won. So that was awesome. So I needed to win after getting my ass kicked by you in fantasy this past week. But we appreciate it, Core. We'll see you back here in a few more weeks with your next question. Maybe
Did we get the second one just for funsies or no?
We can do the second one just for funsies.
You want to do the second one?
Do the second
All right,
one.
sure.
Give out multiple points here.
All right, Core, fire it away. What we got? Second question.
Oh,
All right.
no, I don't
On April 2nd, Johnny Brito would make his major league debut throwing 5 shutout innings. Brito would become just the 4th New York Yankee pitcher in the last 80 years and the 12th all-time to throw 5 scoreless innings in their major league debut. Can you name the last Yankee pitcher to accomplish this?
in major league debut.
I have.
I have
feel
Did it
like
against the
guess-
Orioles.
I have 2 guesses.
Core, what was that hint?
He did it against the Orioles.
Tanaka.
Nope.
Luis Heel.
Yep. Rich knows his Yankees.
Wow.
Damn.
Luis Heel. Well, he was
2021.
unbelievable in that, like those first couple starts for the Yankees. I don't know if it was his first start, but yeah, Yanks O's okay. Yeah, Luis Heel, and still dealing with the Tommy John surgery. So yeah, I should be getting 2 points here, but I'll take the one for now. But Core, we appreciate the time and the question, and looking forward to some more Core curriculum as the 2023 season moves on.
Love it. Thanks for having me, guys.
You got it, sir.
Thanks.
All right, Andrew Khoury. Make sure to give Core some love on Twitter and Instagram. He's at @Core_ on Twitter and at _Core on Instagram. So if you got that confused, well, it's the other one. So it's not _Core, it's the other way around. So there you go. He's got the 2 different ones on social media. So the current standings, well, we got to update those because I'm at the top now with the rest of the guys. So Joe, Tom, and Homer Bush are tied for 1. And poor Corey Fowles couldn't even participate, is tied for last. So that was that. So next week we'll fire up some more games. I think what we got left is a player to be named later, so that will make a return next week on the show. And hopefully you guys make a return to our show next week, because that is the end of Empire State of Baseball's episode number 42. So we'll kick it around the room for some final words of wisdom. Tom.
Garrett Cole is the best pitcher in baseball right now, and Joe's just gonna continue to look like a clown as he usually does throughout the season.
It must feel good. The guy for 4 weeks has been the best pitcher in baseball for the first time since he got here. So, best pitcher in New York. I'm sorry, not even baseball. Best pitcher in New York. So he hasn't even been that since he got here.
That's not true, but
that is completely true.
I want to get to my thank yous. I want to get to my thank you so bad. So let's hold this for a second. Thank you everybody for joining the show tonight. I know it was a bit of a toned down episode. We were without one of our own. So a big shout out and thank you to Khoury Fabs for jumping on from the West Coast and chiming in on his Mets report, the Empire out of state. Got to shout out Matt Tucker, Future's pick of the week. Great pick for him for the Diamondbacks Padres. It is a 4-game set, not a 3-game set, Matt. So we got you marked down for the Padres winning that series. And for Andrew Khoury, Ryan, who's in our chat normally. Thank you for the new segment here, the game segment that is Core Curriculum. We look forward to more of your trivia questions throughout the 2023 season. I know Tom and Joe are about to yell at each other once we get off the air, and I can't wait to get to it. So I'm going to leave you guys at that. See you here next week, Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, right here on Twitch. Take care.